What does being a competitive athlete in high school or college, or heck, even today, if you're a competitive pickleball player, let's say, what does that have to do with your success as a business owner today? I think it has everything to do with it. And in this video, I want to tell you why. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant. And for the last 2 decades of my life, I have been helping people just like you say yes to the dream to own a franchise business by matching your background, interests, skills, finances, and life goals to some of the best franchise opportunities out there today. So if you get inspired and you want to work with me to help you find the perfect franchise, stay tuned to the end of the video and I'm going to share with you how you could be my next candidate. Okay, so let's talk about playing to win in your business, turning your business into a game, and how that attitude can change everything for the better in your business. Now, where this conversation comes from is I've been accused a time or two of being a little passionate about what I do. And yes, I am very passionate, but there's a reason I'm passionate about what I do. Number one, I believe in what I do. Number two, I have invested years in developing the skill that I need to help you help yourself. So I have a lot of confidence, and confidence creates passion. Those two things definitely go together. But also, I'm in a business that really speaks to who I am as a person and allows my personality to shine, and it utilizes some of my best skills. So I think when you put all of that together, it is the perfect storm that creates a very passionate opportunity for Kim Daly. But I want to teach you how you too can be passionate about whatever business you're in, because there are some things that I do in my mind every single day that I come to work that make my business feel like a game. And when it feels like a game and I'm winning at the game, well, who doesn't like to play a game that they're winning at? Everybody likes to play a game that they're winning at. And when you run a business and everything feels out of control, how does that impact your attitude? Yeah, pretty bad, right? Nobody likes to feel out of control. I think of when I tried to teach my young boys how to ski. There was several weekends in a row where mom felt like she was running an Ironman, trying to get them up that bunny slope, up that magic carpet, just for the one time for them to get all the way down that bunny slope without wiping out. Because I knew if they got to the bottom without wiping out and they felt a little bit of the wind in their face, they would be skiers for life. And I was 100% right. But it took a lot of work in order to get them down that bunny slope without wiping out. So when they got there, though, and they felt in control, they started to develop passion for skiing. And today they're teenagers and they're crazy skiers and I can't even keep up with them. Well, the same thing when you learn to ride a bike. Right? Everybody's scared. And until you figure out how to balance that bike underneath you, you're afraid of riding a bike. But once you feel how good it feels to get the wind in your face and you've balanced that bike, everybody loves to bike ride. And sometimes you can't get the kids off the bike. Why? Because they feel in control. Well, the same thing is going to be true of you and the passion that you have for your business once you learn to be in control of it. I know this because I spent 8 years not really being in control. And I've spent the last 13, 14 years absolutely being in control. And I am one of the top performing franchise consultants in the US, which means I'm just blessed to help a lot of people. But I do it intentionally. And that is the point of this video. So what do I do to build this business that I feel 100% in control of? The first thing that you have to do if you want to play to win is you have to know what winning looks like. So you have to define for yourself the win. Now, sometimes the win is a big financial goal. Other times it's quality of life. Sometimes it's having a manager in place and getting your time back and having the freedom and flexibility, even at the expense of not making as much money if you were in it. So everybody has a different definition of success. So let's start there. Pause the video and write out your definition of success. So if you're daring, put it in the comments. What is your definition of success? And be proud of it. Own it. Write it out and write it out often. Because if you don't have a clear, specific why, that's a burning desire in the pit of your belly that helps you wake up and show up for your business will be nowhere without that big goal. A business owner without a goal is like a ship without a port. You may be out at sea, but where are you going? You're lost. You're being tossed by the waves and the wind, and you're not going anywhere productive. So a business owner must have clear, specific goals. Now, I'm going to take this one step further. Everybody sort of has big goals, and sometimes they're vague, but if they're clear and specific, they're better. Now, how many people have daily bite-sized goals? This is my millionaire mindset plan that enabled me to go from an average performing franchisee for 8 years to a history-making franchisee 1 year later. So breaking your annual goals all the way down into daily goals. What I mean by that is, let's say that you have a revenue goal of $1 million and you have an average ticket of $5,000. So if you do the division, that means you need 200 customers paying you $5,000 over the course of a year to have $1 million business. So on a calendar, I want you to count the number of days that your business is open or that you're going to be working. Now, for most of my first-time business owners, I'm going to build their calendar off of 48 out of 52 weeks. So I'm going to give you 4 weeks of downtime or vacation time or just your foot off of the gas pedal of your business in your first year of business. Vacation is very important to happiness. One of the reasons that we get so grumpy in our businesses, just like we do when we're working for other people, is we forget to take time off. If you want to be balanced means I work and I play. So you have to be disciplined in stepping away from your business, which sometimes is harder than you think, because if your business isn't going according to plan and you're feeling a little cash poor, it feels counterintuitive to take time off. But I'm telling you, that's probably the best time to take time off, because the more you strive and you try to push and try to make things happen, you're probably going to make some decisions when you're in that mindset that you're going to regret later. So just walk away, even if it's for only a long weekend. Get out of the office, get away from your business, relax your mind. We all think better, we perform better when our mind is clear, our hearts are open, and we're relaxed. So take time to relax. Okay, so we're building your business plan off of 48 out of 52 weeks. Now, even if your business operates 7 days a week, I'm only gonna build your plan off of 5 out of 7 days, okay? So 5 days a week times 48 weeks gives us a bank of 240 days to play with. So this is the number of days we're going to be up and operating, driving our business forward. Now over here, we said we had $1 million business with an average ticket of 5,000 and we needed 200 customers. So what is our daily goal? We have 200 customers. We have 240 days. It's about a 1-to-1 ratio. So if every day you showed up and you sold one customer something for about $5,000, and you did that 200 times in the course of your 240 days that you're going to work, you would have $1 million in this scenario in your first 12 months of business. Now, the last part of that equation is, how hard do I have to work to get that one sale? So knowing what your closing ratio is, right? How many times do you have to be up at bat if you're selling a product in this fictitious scenario? If you have a business that has a retention rate, then the retention rate would be the last data point that you would need. But in this scenario, we're going to pretend it's a $5,000 ticket. And so we want to know, what is the closing ratio? Well, closing ratios are owned by your sales process. And as being a competitive athlete, if your closing ratios are higher than, I'd say, 1 out of 3, then you need to go back and do some skills training, right? When you were a high school or a college athlete and you were not playing your position to the best of your ability, what did your coach make you do? He made you run drills. He made you watch some film. You had to get better at your game. Well, In business ownership, if you are closing less than 1 out of 3, you need to get better at your game. Why do you want to work that hard? So if you know that you're 1 out of 3 and you need to close 1 sale, then that means you need 3 appointments on the calendar today. Or in the course of 5 days, you need 15 appointments on the books. You need to close 5 out of the 15. And the average ticket of what you're selling needs to be around $5,000. So some people may spend $3,000, some people may spend $10,000, but over the course of 5 days, it's going to average to about $5,000. That's how you build $1 million business in this fictitious scenario. 200 days out of 365, one $5,000 ticket at a time. So when it's broken down to this type of simplicity, on Sunday night, you see the week, 15 appointments, I need to close 5. What that also implies is you're going to hear no 10 times before you get your 5 yeses. So what happens to most salespeople when they hear no? They get in the fetal position. They start whining. They start thinking, nobody wants what I'm selling. Something is wrong. Let's be real. You know you're going to think that if you're a salesperson. Everybody does. Until you have a plan that is so clear and specific like this one, where you realize, wow, I'm going to hear no more than I'm going to hear yes. Yeah, welcome to sales. You're going to hear no way more than you're going to hear yes. And you know what? Who cares? If you hear no from everybody, that's different. But 2/3 of the time, you're going to hear no. So if you're prepared for that, you move on and you say, that's not one of the 5 that's going to say yes. And you move on to the next sale without losing your confidence, without feeling like you have to change what you're doing. Again, going back to what I said about skills training, if everybody is saying no, I think you need to improve your skill. And even over time, with 2/3 of those no's, if you keep track of why customers are objecting to your sales process, you can actually reverse engineer that sales process and get that reeled in tighter and maybe even get that closing ratio down to 1 out of 2. And sometimes with really good lead sources, because sometimes the leads are only good or bad relative to the lead source, if you get referred leads, let's say, and let's say that you're selling a home service and you've got realtors who are referring customers to you. Well, a referral probably isn't going to be shopping around. They're probably just going to buy. So from that particular lead source, you might be 1 out of 1. That's an amazing use of your time. But I'm getting a little bit off track, but only to explain to you that when you look at your business with this much clarity, you're going to feel a sense of control. And that's the point that I want to make. So the control is what leads to the passion. Remember, we're talking about showing up and having fun, building your business like it's a game. My business is a sport to me. I show up to play the game of my life every single day because it's so much freaking fun to help people and to get paid for it. And imagine if you had that same attitude and energy for what you were doing. Who doesn't like to walk into a business where they're greeted warmly? It's lively. It feels life-giving. People want to serve you genuinely. They are there to help you with whatever product or service it is they're offering. They want to help you. Who doesn't want to be a customer in a business like that? Everybody does. And on the contrary, nobody wants to be a customer in a business where, you walk in and all the employees are head down looking on their phone and they act like you're bothering them when you walk up to the window or you ask for help, right? We've all been a customer in that business. As the owner of the business, you get to control all of this and the customer experience. You get to control and lead the passionate environment by bringing your own passion into your business. You do this by having clear, specific goals broken down into daily goals. Look, when I come to work, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not frustrated. I'm not worried. I'm not thinking, oh my God, I have to do all of this in order to have the life I want. I'm coming to work to play the daily game that is set before me. And everything that I have to do, I know how to do it. I feel in control. Now, I have to be disciplined to show up and be accountable to these goals that I've set forth. Can you be disciplined? Can you be accountable to your goals? I mean, if you can't, you shouldn't even own a business. But if you are the CEO managing through a general manager and then through a team of people, you're not the one showing up to execute the day-to-day action, but that doesn't mean you're absent or excused from setting the goals, from building the culture that we work hard and we play hard. That's your job every single day of the week. So this is how you do it. You transfer your goals, you share your goals and dreams with your general manager and maybe even with your team. You break it down for them and show them clearly what they must accomplish today. And then you work with them on their skills trainer. Remember the coach who worked with you when you were an athlete? Well, now you're the coach to your team. So it's your job to help them understand these objections they're getting in the sales process and to help them move through those and get more yeses out of that sales process so they can go from closing ratios of 1 out of 3 to 1 out of 2 and maybe even 1 out of 1. Imagine how efficient of a business you'd be running and how much fun you would have every single day if you know you were showing up and if you had a customer, you were going to sell that customer. Now that's a game you would want to play every single day and you would show up like today is the World Series because you knew that you were going to win. Well, that's the point of the video. I want to put you in a mindset that allows you to feel totally in control. So what have I said so far? We need clear, specific goals. Then we need to execute on those goals. We need to be disciplined and accountable. We need to lead our team to these goals. This is your job as the CEO of this environment. If you have staff members who are not compliant, who are not in agreement with being life-giving, being passionate, being excited about working with customers, you need to let them go. Because one bad employee can ruin the whole bunch. You need to have a cohesive environment where everybody understands that we are here to serve other people. It makes us happy. It gives us life when we give to our customers. Because you know, as the CEO of this business, that it is in giving that then you will receive. You want to make $1 million? You got to figure out how to give $1 million worth of value. That's how you do it. So when I went from this franchisee who was just sort of lost, I had vague goals, no daily goals. I just came to work, shuffled some paper, did some emails, made a few calls if I felt like it. Well, my results equaled that. I was inconsistent at best. I had an average performing business for 8 years. And then 1 year later, in my 9th year of business, everything changed. I did over 350% more revenue in my 9th year. What did I do? Well, one would say my attitude changed, but my attitude changed as a result of my actions changing. I decided to get a clear, specific goal. I decided to show up every single day to do one specific thing that would drive my business forward. Now, in my business, that's prospecting. That's about the only thing I can control in my sales process is how many people I funnel through the process. So I switched my focus from the people I was working with to the people that I needed to be finding every day who could be new and fresh energy in my pipeline. And switching my mindset by that one thing changed everything, including history. But what it changed before it changed history was it changed me. It changed my attitude. In the beginning, when I was like, okay, I'm going to prospect every single day and I'm going to find one person, I had this much skill. I didn't know how to do that. I had always relied on my franchisor to generate leads from me. That is not a winning proposition. So when I decided to own this, I had to go back to skills training. I had to read some books. I had to talk to some people. I was like, girl, you're a summa cum laude graduate. I was a 4.0 graduate going on to medical school. So I didn't know much about business, but I knew that I was smart. So I could figure this out. And if I applied myself consistently, I could figure out how to prospect to find one new person per day, which was my daily goal. goal. And you know what? 13, 14 years later, it is still my daily goal. So I showed up to prospect and I had to learn some new skill, and that sucked a little bit. But you know what? Being uncomfortable is part of being a business owner. And if you don't like being uncomfortable, you're probably not going to own a business for very long. I followed through. I developed some skill. And with consistency and time, guess what started to happen? I started getting my daily lead. And when I started getting my daily lead, guess what happened to my attitude? It went through the roof because now I couldn't wait to come to work. There were days when I came to work and I was like, all right, who's coming for me today? I'm going to find my one lead. And I would show up to play this daily game that literally over time, I couldn't lose. Now, even at the end of the week, I only got 4 out of 5 candidates. Was I crying about that? Heck no. I was still further along than in the first 8 years when I wasn't even thinking about how to generate 1 prospect a week for myself. So this isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. And you know what? If you look at that first year that I made history, when you look at the number of days I worked and the number of daily leads that I generated, I was only 80% effective. But 80% effective made me a history maker. So as I just said, perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. I was consistent. I was persistent because I believed in my goals and dreams and I had a burning desire to change my life. And I was consistent and I was persistent and I was resilient. And if you put consistency, persistency, and resiliency together, what does that spell? CPR. This is the most life-giving energy that you can give to your business and to yourself. And it equated to a history-making year. It equated to me going from this average performing, sometimes happy, mostly miserable consultant to a top performing, history-making consultant that was living the dream, that was waking up every single day to show up, to play a game that I couldn't lose. And you know what? It became a self-fulfilling prophecy because as I came to work every single day, motivated, ambitious, ready for the day, I started attracting people to me who felt exactly the same way. My energy fed their energy fed my energy. They started referring other people to me. It was like there were times in my business where it was like I was taking orders. Every single person I met was investing in a franchise. How was this happening? It was happening because I created this environment that was contagious. Everybody wanted to be around me because they wanted what I had. And that's what I want for you. I want you to create this life-giving environment in your business because you look at your business like a game that you cannot lose. And when you show up to play that game and to play to win every single day, there is absolutely no way that you won't be waking up, living your grandest dreams over time. It may not happen overnight. It took me 1 year the first time, but now I realize the sky's the limit. Now I can believe for more in shorter amount of time. So don't rush the time. Just put in the time and know that in time, you too could become a history maker, maybe in your franchise, but definitely in your life. Imagine waking up, feeling the satisfaction of being a history maker for your family. That is why you want to explore a franchise. That is what you are hoping to find. I hope now in this video you realize the power that you have to make all of your dreams come true. Now, on that note, you need one more thing, which is a really solid franchisor to help you. And that's where I come in. So if you have stayed with me to the end and you are ready to begin your journey to explore franchise, I want you to follow the link in the description below. That's going to take you to my contact form so I can reach out to you and we can open up the conversation to help you find the perfect business so you can wake up playing the game of your life and setting out to make history for your franchise, for your family, but most importantly, for you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next one.